What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
And I just noticed you got your phone on military time.
Yeah.
Do you guys? But anyway, welcome back to another For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because you get those questions first. Also, if you enjoy our content, if you like listening to us while you go to work, while you paint, while you do whatever it is that you do, hopefully it's clean, you can consider supporting the channel by giving us a super thanks. If you do, you can ask us anything you want. Hopefully it's clean, and we will answer it for you next week.
And we don't have one today, but we do have a question by Luis Domingo Calvo Castro, 1555. What a mouthful. His question is, what faction within the Imperium would be most likely to use Thunder Warriors if they were never wiped out in the current 40K era?
So that's kind of, you're making the assumption that Thunder Warriors would not also be used by the Imperium, because obviously the Imperium would use them if they were
You think
around.
so? Because that's like us saying, let's make a, I don't know, like a car, like the steam-powered cars or a locomotive. Why keep making that when we can make like bullet trains and like, hybrid cars?
Yeah, I mean, kind of, but it's almost like why create, like, what are they called? Firstborn Marines are no longer really a thing. That doesn't mean that like another faction now adopted the old gene seed of the Space Marines. Right. What I thought you meant, well, I thought the comment meant was kind of like the Imperium doesn't want them anymore because like the Emperor said, like, no, get rid of them. Otherwise, like, yeah, like they would be part of bodyguards for like an Imperial or planetary governor.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Rogue traders would use them on their ships.
Yeah.
Things like that. But he's saying factions, right?
He's saying what faction within the Imperium would be most likely to use the Thunder Warriors?
Then that's the answer.
yeah, easily. I could see Inquisitors use them as like bodyguards, henchmen, that type of thing. Not just that, but planetary governors. Yeah. Say they want to go rogue and stop paying their tithes to the Imperium. What are they going to do? They got a whole freaking battalion of these proto-Space Marines.
Yeah, that'd be dangerous.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a really good story to a homebrew Space Marine chapter. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. That's something we don't talk about very much anymore. Homebrewing. Homebrewing is what makes 40K so much fun.
Yes. One of the things that I wished GW would have put out was some type of board game or something that has to do with the era before the 30K era, like before there were Space Marines.
Unification
Wars. Yeah, the Unification Wars. Just so we could see all these, warlords and all their crazy steampunk / like Mad Max type weaponry, and apparently their battles with like psychers and stuff was so crazy. You'd see entire continents be turned to glass, rain like molten lava and stuff like that. So it'd be pretty interesting to see that.
It was hectic.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, the Thunder Warriors were so efficient that they were able to colonize and conquer Terra.
Yeah. And like back then.
Right. So even nowadays, that they would still be able to pack a punch against, I'd say, even Astartes.
Yeah. There's a really cool Instagram channel or whatever it's called. Yeah, channel, right? Page. Called Iron Sleet. And one of the main guys created some Thunder Warriors off of like bits and pieces from like, I think, Horus Heresy and Space Marines. You guys should check it out, Iron Sleet. But it would be awesome to see that as a full-scale army. Yeah. And if not, even like, let's say a kill team box where you do have like some type of rogue trader and his bodyguards. Like they did with, was it Blackstone Fortress?
Yeah, they did.
Where they had like the Navy guys? Yeah.
Yes, because when I think of Thunder Warriors, I basically think Ogryn Space Marines.
Yeah, I do too. Now, I was thinking that, like, what if it was another faction outside of 40K or outside of the Imperium? Because in that situation, I feel like the Tau Empire would have benefited from having Thunder Warriors if they were able to manipulate Vespids into basically giving them, like, a helmet.
Yeah, a mind control helmet that's supposedly a translator.
Why would they not do it to these Ogryn Space Marines and manipulate them to be, like, some type of, like, heavy support?
Yeah, easy. I could easily see that. Another concept that could work is Trazian. Supposedly, he has a bunch of Thunder Warriors and stasis chambers in his vaults and stuff like that.
So. What does he do with them? Impact play and that kind of stuff.
Impact play.
Good question, though.
Yeah. Thanks, Luis.
Next one.
This one is by Nirmana Akasara. Will it be feasible for Vashtor the Archifane to strike a deal with the Necrons, especially the Silent King, to reverse the biotransference and bring back the Necron soul to make them come back to life again? So basically, this goes back to where the Necron tier became the Necrons through these huge engines that the Catan had, and they were basically tricked into losing their lives to become immortal, soulless beings. I don't think Vashtor has that type of power to bring back a soul to the soulless.
Yeah.
If anything, Vashtor can probably recreate the biotransference machines or another machine that could pull souls into a body, but it won't be the same Necron tier souls into the Necron bodies. And not just that, but I don't think that really pushes forward the ideologies and the goal for Vashtor at this point in time.
Because he's also a chaos god, so why not put demons in those bodies?
He's not a chaos god yet.
He will be.
He's a demigod.
But chaos, right? Demons.
Yeah, he's chaos. Demons, forge, technology, that stuff. Yeah. So it's very it's very similar to the whole idea of the Catan and the Void Dragon. There you go. Mm-hmm. So people were saying that sometimes you might mix the two because they're very similar in their ideologies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So even with the Mechanicum and Mars, them praising the Omnissiah, it could be that they're actually praising Vashtor.
Yeah. Good question. Next one comes from Team 3 Star. Why are they no power chain swords or power chain axes? I'm guessing you mean in the real world. And I think that's because look at the concepts. Look at why a chainsword and a battle axe, or why a chainsword exists. Usually, it's the Space Marine trying to cut through orc hide. Orc hide is super, super tough. So, of course, you need some type of sawing thing. You can't just have something that slices. In that situation, you would need a power sword.
Exactly. You need the serrated edge more so than cutting power.
Yeah. And so why don't we have that? Well, nobody's walking around with power armor or hide that's that strong. Yeah.
Even in 40K, you don't really see that. You do have power mauls, power fists, thunder hammers, power swords, but when it comes to the chain weapons, you don't really see that. There's power ability infused into it.
Right, yeah. Even in because I was thinking trying to cut rhino hide and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. You use a chain sword, or not chain sword. A chain. What is it called? The thing you cut trees down with.
A chainsaw.
A chainsaw. There you go. You don't need to have it as in you fighting a warrior hand to hand. No, you kill the animal and then you cut it up with a chainsaw. It's not you're going to go to I don't know, where is there a battle right now?
Ukraine?
And then see dudes fighting with chainswords. No. Even though, so the other day I was driving down, I think I was driving down 30, and I saw one of the city trucks, and there were dudes on the city trucks with chain swords, basically, or chain spears.
Yeah, because they need to trim branches and stuff.
Yeah, and I was that I want that job. Mm-hmm. Let me get that job. City of whatever that was. Next one.
This one's by user CZ4TK2VR91i. The Inari already demonstrate to bring back people from the dead. For example, Gilliman and a bunch of Rubric Marines, even bringing their bodies, which turned into dust, into actual physical things. So I'm pretty sure it would be possible to bring back Sanguinius. What's stopping them from doing it?
Shut up.
GW doesn't like that. Yeah. So the thing is, Gilliman wasn't dead. He was in stasis. He was about to die, but because he was in stasis, his body didn't reach death. Right. Not just that, but when it comes to the Primarchs, a lot of times it's very difficult to kill them. Mm-hmm. Even with decapitation, they'll still be alive for just a little bit longer than normal.
Like chickens.
Yeah. Ferris Manus chickens. But yeah, with Sanguinius, apparently it's the same concept. He's not dead. He's in a near-death state, which was retconned from him being officially dead to maybe he's not dead, but his soul still lives through the Sanguinor. And all in all, it's just a bunch of theories, and we don't really know what's going to happen just yet. When it comes to the Eldar and the Inari and all that, again, GW doesn't like focusing on Xenos. It's mostly going to be any type of Imperial-focused stuff, so it'll be a while before we see the Eldar do anything important ever.
Again,
Yeah.
because Gilliman. And I think they wouldn't replay that thing.
I doubt it, yeah. To do the same thing over and over again, yeah, it'll get too cliche. If anything, people want to see another Primarch come back, and it's probably going to be the Lion.
Yeah, the Lion is just what, sleeping in the rock?
He's asleep. He's not dead. He's just a little tired.
He's drowsy.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from the big one. Do you think a secluded beach with a perfect view is a good place to commit arson? A secluded beach with a perfect view. No, because I feel like you're going to be burning things not on the actual beach and behind you, and then you're going to be stuck between sharks and fire. So how about no? Arson is good, like, in the projects. Next question.
This one is by Republic Rising. Do you think it would be a good idea to bring the Space Wolves Primarch back, but having be twisted from the warp?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants to see a bestial wolf in Lehman Russ.
Yeah. That would be super awesome.
Yeah.
I would definitely buy the model, and I'll be more inclined than like Angron.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
It falls in the same kind of category.
Yes. Where Angron's like this bestial, hulking behemoth. It's nice to have a loyalist come back as not just like a regular dude in power armor.
Right, yeah. But those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening and hanging out with us. And we'll talk tomorrow.
That's right. It's the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.